In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 103. Yeah. There's that.
Is that prime? Is this a prime number joke one? Are we back to doing that, or whatever my attempt at a joke is, which is just notifying anybody who actually listens that it is a prime number?
Yep. I guarantee you nobody would have thought of it's a prime number first.
I guarantee you the listener thing is the more obvious part.
Yeah. Alright, so NHL, let's see. Here are the divisions. Not much has changed. Do we have...
It was just the graphic was just the teams to go through. You wanted to talk NHL preview.
Yeah. So
there is no realignment or anything.
I know. So I wanted to talk about, I don't know, a few teams, just sprinkles of them, because I don't think it's really worth talking Arizona. I don't.
Oh, I think absolutely is. If did you see the image of the
Yes,
new
I
arena today?
saw the image.
Not only how bad the arena is because Arizona State's hockey rink, but the fact that the Coyotes are only getting half of the center ice logo. They literally have Arizona State's logo on one side of the face-off circle and the Coyotes on the other.
Yeah.
Just to show how bad they are at making money, they're splitting costs with technically a non-profit.
So again, don't really need to talk about Arizona. Aside from that,
Speaking of jokes that write themselves.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think Seattle's gonna get much better or worse, to be fair.
Do you think that Shane Wright was the right pick for them? No pun intended.
I think they had to pick Shane Wright there.
They had what, the second or third pick?
No, Shane Wright went to no third. Third. Sorry. Yeah. Who went to 4? Wasn't the number one overall the supposedly number one? He went to 4.
Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, because the Devils. So Montreal had 1. They picked the guy I wanted on the Devils. So the Devils picked Nemec. And yeah, the whole draft is thrown in out of proportion because who would have expected that? I do think Nemec was the right move because we just can't seem to develop a defenseman that wants to stay with us. Let alone we can't seem to develop a defenseman.
So, sorry to jump back and forth with you here, but Seattle drafted at number 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because Wright went 4, but I think they kind of had to. Because
Shane Wright was, according, look, this is the first mock I pulled up. I wanted to go back. NHL.com, they had 2 of their writers mock up the first round, and both of them took Shane Wright to go number 1 to Montreal.
Yeah, that's the thing. Shane Wright was supposed to go number 1. I knew that the Devils weren't going to pick him at 2 if he ever got there. And I was really hoping Montreal didn't take who they did, which was Slafkovsky, right?
Right. They did you guys taking Slafkovsky.
Right, because he was Like, we need that type of player, right? We don't need Shane Wright. We have enough centers, wingers,
Yeah, the
center
only thing with
winger
you guys in
pairs.
this kind of get, yeah, the
Huh?
only thing with you guys in this gets into the preview part is you guys keep drafting centers every year, and
Yeah.
then every year one of them goes away, and then
Yeah.
you need a center again because it's basically like a Congo line, and then whoever is at the end of the line is like, or maybe it's the front of the line is just like, yeah, I only had 1 year left on my deal, or
Yeah.
I'll get traded for a second round pick.
But I mean, we're running into that issue, right? So we have Hughes, Heischer, right? They're centers. So we're trying to lock up two centers long term. Are we really going to draft another center to be third line?
Not high, no. Mid round, maybe.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's a development thing.
Exactly. So at the two pick, we have to go wing or defense.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm kind of surprised Shane Wright didn't go third, but I mean, he goes to fourth. Seattle has to take him. There's no question.
Anyway, let's get into NHL preview.
Yeah. So, this I do want to talk about the Devils a little bit, because as I was saying, which the draft does kind of cover, like we drafted Nemec, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was the right pick because the guy we wanted went before him. So even though I don't think he's truly a number two, because I think most had him go around like 5'6". Um, I still think he was exactly what the Devils had to draft there because we're not drafting another center second overall when we're trying to lock up two centers. And I think our forwards are pretty good in terms of what we're showing as our lines for this season. At least our top three lines, like top 2.5 lines, I don't see a problem with. And I think the Devils are going to be better. I'm not saying they're a playoff contender. I'm saying they might fringe playoffs actually this year. What do you think?
For the Devils,
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah,
I
okay.
like
What about
the
the
Devils.
Pittsburgh
Look, no.
Penguins?
So like, let's go. Let's stick with the Devils for a second, and I'm gonna hit on this. The Devils are forever a team that strikes me as a piece or two away at their best. Just because historically speaking, in the past 20 years, and because they are a smaller market team that plays in the backyard of bigger market teams, they will get they won't be seen as anything but a pushover.
Right.
Johnny Gaudreau was your big target, and that flopped.
I am
And
actually kind of glad we didn't sign Gautreau to
I
that.
I understand that, but like that's just the latest example.
Yeah.
And yes, you guys have a farm system that pans out to an average level.
Yeah.
I would not say it pans out and generates talent like others
Oh
can.
no.
Um, it's somewhere between um, farm system of a team that's in their competition window and has sold off all the good prospects and farm system of a rebuilding team that has a lot of great prospects in the waiting. You guys, for whatever reason, are always kind of there.
Hmm.
You guys tend to want to solve your problems through buying talent, but you guys don't get the talent that you want to buy.
Right. It's like I think that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, as you're saying, right? We don't get the talent we want to buy. I mean, we got Hamilton. He's doing wonders. Uh,
Yes, but Hamilton plays a position that is not going to affect the score sheet.
Right.
So I'm glad he's doing wonders for you. I'm glad you guys have him locked up for the next 7 years.
Six
But
more, yeah.
just like bringing in PK Subban at the end of his prime, not only see the difference between Subban and Hamilton was Subban, you guys were in rebuild mode, and you
Yeah.
guys were willing to eat the contract because you knew it wasn't going to make a difference.
Nope.
Now you bring in a offensive defenseman, just like Subban was.
Yep.
It's not going to make much of a difference, and you're
But
going to
at the
expect
same time, it's like I feel like, like we've had like Severson for a while, like forever. We have, but my problem coming up for the Devils is how are we gonna pay for our talent, because we signed Heischer to a like a contract he deserves, right? We signed Hamilton, he's on a 7-year deal. Brat's looking for a lot of money.
This is the downside to constantly rebuilding,
Mhm.
because when you hit with guys all at the same time because you're in such high draft position, you eventually have to let them walk because you can't afford them all.
Yep. So I mean that's where I see us. Like again, I don't see us getting much better, but with Subban's $9 million coming off the books, Hamilton is I think it's like 7 million, but that's like okay for now. For now,
His contract coming off the books is okay forever.
no. His contract is 7 million, I think.
Yeah, but he retired, so therefore you don't.
No.
do it.
Subban's contract coming off the books is 9, and I said getting off that's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, that's good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't see us getting much better, but I do hope to see like a little bit more fight in us throughout the season.
Hey, how's the goaltending going to be?
Not good.
Okay, so
No, you don't.
right then and there, right then and there, I know exactly where you guys are going to finish. It's going to be outside the top 4 in the division.
Oh yeah. But as like I think that we've like as a team we've been too reliant on goaltending, and it's always been because no
Yes,
matter
but
how good the
you guys
goaltender
have-
was, the amount of reliance that we had on him to make 35, 40 saves in a game, every
Yeah,
game.
you guys played the Islander system.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So even though it's like I don't think it's gonna be a good season in terms of goaltending, I hope it like kind of like wakes the coaching staff up to know that we need to stop playing this type of system, man. I hate it.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I'm constantly in the not care about the Devils camp, is because you guys are either all in on you're going to score and have no goaltending, or you're going to have elite goaltending and no scoring. CC
But then-
Taylor Hall's time in New Jersey.
But also like you're gonna have an offense with no defense or goaltending, or you're gonna have a
Right.
goaltender with no defense or offense.
So you see where the problem is.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is just we're circling the drain here because you guys got Dougie Hamilton. You know, you got Andre Palat,
Yep.
and got rid of who for Palat to take on 1 year of Palat left in his contract. Because wasn't he acquired through trade with?
No, didn't he sign?
Or I'm sorry, you guys traded somebody to Boston though.
Yeah, Zaka went to Boston.
Okay, so this is the constant spin cycle. I mean,
But
you
Zaka
guys-
wasn't panning out
okay, that's fine. And he also had 1 year on his deal.
on his
So, you know what I
RFA
mean?
deal. Or
Right.
no, he had to sign. He was an RFA, so he went to arbitration
You
with
guys
the
traded
Bruins.
his rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, but you see where the issue is here.
Yeah. No. I
You
see
guys-
it. But I'm saying that, like, I hope that we're in a season where it's, like, more offensive focused because, like, I hate, like, constantly watching the Devils, constantly get bombarded in shots. like even
really
if
does
it's a
come down.
drain and we're circling it, I want to be on the offensive side of that drain.
I guess, but at the same time, the only way that you win in that
Yeah, but I'm
scenario
not
is
saying
by
we're gonna
saying
make the
that you don't
playoffs.
have.
Little like, there's no way.
I
Like,
know, but this is the sad thing of your season being basically saying like the best thing for us is to be drafting outside the top 10.
oh yeah,
That's not good. That's not your peak.
Eh.
To say that no man's land of the first round is a good year for you guys is not good.
I mean, I do think that the team could fringe the playoffs, and I would say a good year is just outside the playoffs.
Okay, old format, do they make the playoffs? Where there's one wild card?
No way.
Okay. I mean, let's say what it is. For MLB, when they gave a second wild card team a
Yeah.
shot into the field, or like in March Madness when they have the first four and the guys celebrating are like, "Woo, we're going to the dance," but not really because we have to play against another 16 seed that could, kill our journey,
Yep.
just like any other team in the past week and a half.
Yep. All right. Well, okay. Let's talk Columbus because they made the giant
Yeah.
signing.
So, I mean, I'm looking at Stanley Cup odds here. Columbus, nowhere, not anywhere near the top. Vegas has better odds at plus 1,700 of hoisting the cup.
Okay. I mean, I kind of agree because like, what else did they do?
I mean, okay, look, first of all, you brought this up. So, we're absolutely, I have no problem getting into it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
My question is, what does Gaudreau actually do for you?
That's. Yep.
Because, look, I don't watch a lot of Calgary games in the past, 8 years, let's call it. But what does Johnny Gaudreau bring that's going to change anything?
Oh,
Because
okay.
it
Let's
was
put
the
it this way.
core in Calgary around him that helped them get any kind of playoff
What
relevance.
what does Johnny Gaudreau do that's worth that amount of money going forward?
Marketing.
But does he bring you closer to a cup for that amount of money? No, he just sells some seats.
I don't know. It depends on how many former Flyers they want to put on a top six wing.
Good point.
Shit, I mean, like they exclusively trade with the Flyers. They just swap out wingers.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna trade. We're gonna trade. Oh, what the fuck? The redhead.
Doesn't matter.
Voracek. We're gonna trade Voracek or Umberger. They had them all.
Yep. All right. You want to talk about the Penguins?
I'll make this very quick. I fully anticipate that they're going to be exactly what they have been
Okay.
for the past 6 or 7 years since they won a cup. They will make the first round. They will lose there. The fact that they brought back with Tang and Malkin, and then
It's
don't
the glory days, man.
Don't forget Jeff Carter was extended last year.
Yep.
Don't forget that Jason Zucker is still on it in a immovable deal. Because they're trying to get rid of him, but they can't.
Yep.
And honestly, the only thing that I want to see is P.O. Joseph actually playing at the NHL level.
Okay.
They have all these defensemen. They got P.O. Joseph, which was a highly touted prospect in the Kessel deal. And in like the 5 games where he's been on the NHL ice since then, he's actually looked like young Letang, like he can get things done for you. But for whatever reason, they just keep sending him down to the AHL. And I want to see the guy actually get a shot at the NHL level before it's too late. Either his contract is up and he walks and somebody else gets him, or he's too old to have ever developed into whatever he is going to be.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. I don't really care to talk about the rest of the Metro. What about you?
I mean, look, I don't know what the Rangers are because they strike me as a team that goes one step forward, one step back a lot.
Yeah.
The Flyers, I think, are now have fully embraced rebuilding.
Finally.
I think, yeah, they sold off Giroux last year, and I mean, like they were a team that would go one step forward, one step back too. But then
Yep.
last year, everybody thought they were going to win the cup, which was like the most ridiculous thing.
Yep.
Washington is like the Penguins. I really don't know what you're actually going to get out of them. Maybe
No, I mean,
you'll get some Ovechkin highlights. He'll break some records and he'll call it a season.
yep. All right, and the Atlantic. What does the odds say about Tampa that now that they're Pilotless and what else happened? I don't even remember.
I don't think that a lot makes a huge difference. Tampa is the fifth
Yeah.
best odds at plus 1200.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So it goes Colorado, then Carolina, Toronto, and Florida, followed by Tampa, then Edmonton at 1500, Calgary at 1600, Penguins at 1700,
Because I actually
Rangers
think
at 1700,
so.
and Vegas.
I think losing Gaudreau, they still did a pretty okay job in the
Yeah,
offseason.
they put in Huberto
Well,
and picks.
yeah. So like they did a pretty good job in the offseason. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to what's Calgary going to be like.
Yeah, I would be looking forward to that too if I ever wanted to watch that many 10 p.m. games.
Yeah, and then I have no faith in Toronto. I'm sorry, odds. Um,
You know the sad thing is Toronto has failed this badly for so long that eventually it's going to break. The luck is going to break their way, and people. It's like the wolf or boy who cried wolf. It's like nobody's gonna fucking care when
yeah.
it actually happens.
Yep.
Great, it's been 56 years. You guys really should have had one by now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Second round, huh?
Yeah.
Congrats. You know there's
And
3 more of those for a cup.
and then Vegas, I'm actually like again, if I watched more late games, I would be interested in what Vegas is doing.
I wouldn't because from what I've read in the articles say the ownership group in the front office are really bad.
Really?
That's what
How can you be this bad and your team's like 5 years old? Not even.
exactly. You would think that first impressions are everything. Free agents apparently all the high profile free agents this year. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that Phil Kessel is one of them at this
No.
point in time. They all didn't want to go there anymore.
Okay.
So, and didn't Pacioretty get traded?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So your captain is gone. Robin Leonard is still there, but like all those guys that they acquired in the first 2 years, they're gone.
Yep.
And so, they've backstabbed Fleury,
Mm-hmm.
which was like really big.
Yep.
Not because of the player that Fleury is at this point in his career, but because of what it says about what you're willing to do
Oh yeah.
as ownership. And you would think, as you said, in the first 5 years, that shit is really important not to do.
You'd think like, oh hey, like I really need to maintain my image for a little bit. I mean, you're no longer the newest team, but you're still so new that like
I will say this. They really, I think they did it because the first year. that first year was such a momentum swing for that community
Yeah.
to rally behind and, make the cup. It really gained a lot of brownie points.
Oh yeah.
And they were fucking coasting off that shit forever. Not only
Uh-huh.
thinking that it was actually right to be as competitive and as aggressive in the moves that they made, but also because look, there's a reason why they acquired all the talent that they did through trades. Because that first year,
Nobody wants
James,
to
all
sign.
those other guys were on the last year of their deal. They were going to leave. Nobody was going to come and add
Yep.
to that. So they had to acquire everybody.
Yep.
They had the capital to do it. And now everybody has seen what it's actually like and they want to leave.
Yeah, fair enough. And I really don't pay attention to much of the Central, but I still expect Colorado to be really good, probably topping it.
They're a heavy favorite to win the
Yeah.
cup again.
Yeah. But like there should be no problem with Colorado topping that division, I don't think.
See, this is the thing that sucks about hockey is that we've now entered, and I'm gonna attack the Penguins on this too. In the past 7 to 8 years, like traditionally speaking, hockey is the sport of the core four sports that, in order to win, requires the most luck, the least amount of skill.
Yep.
That's what science says.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past 7 years, that parity is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because saying that the St. Louis Blues won a cup is considered parity right now, because you had the Penguins win back to back, you had uh,
Lightning.
Tampa win back to back, potential for a three-peat
Yep.
and lose. Um, and now we're looking at Colorado as
Hey.
heavily in the same position to go back to back.
Yep.
So that's kind of, it sucks because this is a sport where everything could be one bounce or one shot away from being very different, but for whatever reason, talent has won the day. Now,
Mm-hmm.
part of that is because Tampa Bay had exploited the salary cap rules.
Yes. I agree.
So it'll be interesting to see because Colorado obviously didn't do that. They got rid of Kadri.
Yep. So
So
we'll see. But I still think their team is so heavily favored
do
that
you think that Colorado is actually better now?
no, I wouldn't say that
Okay.
they're
Well,
better.
when it comes to playoff time, yes, Kadri can get you goals, but he also can get you shorthanded.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a trade off that I'm willing to live with once the playoffs come. Because for a team like Colorado, wherever they finish in the division race, as long as it's top four, does not mean anything to them.
Yeah, but I still think they're favored to win the division. It's like,
Again, their season will start after the All Star break.
yeah, I agree. All right, those are the only teams I wanted to talk about. So you got any?
Um, I don't know. Edmonton. I don't know. I don't know where you think of Edmonton being.
I mean, the only reason I
If
watch
we're gonna
Edmonton
talk
is because
about,
they have Connor McDavid. I really don't pay attention to Edmonton
do
otherwise.
you, do you think that Edmonton is another one of those teams that just kind of shuffles the deck? Throw McDavid and Draisaitl out there, shuffle the pieces
Yeah,
around them.
because you
Fucking
don't
Keith didn't work.
get
He retired.
you like the thing is right like by having your top two players take what like 20 something almost 25% of the salary cap or something like at least 20%.
Yeah, in the NHL, that's a huge chunk.
That's ridiculous. You cannot build around it.
Although, I mean, as a Penguins fan, I've literally seen
I
do
mean,
that.
like
Crosby, Malkin, and Letang.
it's such a
They're still doing it.
yeah, but like it's such a crutch to the building out the rest of your team. I'm not saying they don't deserve the money or whatever. I'm just saying like by tying up over 20% of your salary cap in two players, you have to fill
Yeah.
21 other slots with 80%.
It's amazing that they don't operate like above the salary cap. Especially because when they brought in
Okay.
Duncan Keith on that fucking deal that he was
Yeah.
on, that wasn't exactly smart cap budgeting either.
So I mean, like, I as much as like he's like Connor McDavid is phenomenal to watch. Draisaitl has really hype moments too. It's just like it's not enough because are they really are they really they have to be like 50% of their team's production to be worth it.
You know, Toronto and Edmonton are like interchangeable to me.
Yeah.
I can confuse them and say the exact same thing about them, and it will always be right. They both don't have a priority in any kind of goaltending presence
Yeah.
because Mike Smith and Jack Campbell stop it. Jack Campbell was a one-time All-Star. That's great. So is Frederick Anderson. Again, stop it. Um, they have no real defensive like reliability, and they
Okay.
both are. I mean, yes, Morgan Riley, and I don't know who you want to point out on the Oilers.
I mean, not that they had defensive reliability, but like they did try. Like I don't think I don't think they had major defensive liability, but I don't necessarily think that their defensemen were
So my thinking is this.
reliable.
My thinking is this: is that their first pair of defensemen, regardless of the team, is probably obviously as best as it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I do think that by the time that you get to that second one, that second pairing, it's a heavier drop off than most teams.
Okay. But
And then
like
third pairing is probably another drop off.
I think that like because the way the Oilers kind of operated is I feel like their first pairing was like really good, like more than NHL caliber good, and then their second pairing was kind of like average defenseman pairing, and then their third pairing was almost non-existent.
Okay, but here's the thing:
But
they can't put money into. They can't put good money into a second pairing because of, as you said, how financially constrained they've put themselves with elite talent
yeah,
on the top six. So you have to force basically borderline AHL, NHL players to play second
yeah,
pairing
but
and
they
hope it works
so
out,
I
which
think they
is
force more so on the winger side because so they spend 20% of their cap on two players, right? So then you can't really put pieces for them around them. A lot of them were on like ELCs. You have Kyler Yamamoto, right? They had drafted Nugent Hopkins at the same time, so he was on nothing. Now he's not on that much. Um,
Nugent Hopkins was well before McDavid and Drysdale. Nugent Hopkins was before Taylor Hall.
oh yeah, oh yeah, they had Hall too, didn't they? But don't they still have Nugent
Yeah,
Hopkins? They still have Nugent
yeah,
Hopkins though, but he's not
they
making.
do, but
Yeah,
Nugent Hopkins has to be making decent money at this point.
yeah, fair enough. But like,
Definitely not an ELC.
no, he's not an ELC anymore. I knew that. But like it's ridiculous to like they're obviously cutting because I don't think like their bottom half of their forwards are any good. In fact,
Nugent Hopkins
I
made
would say
six
that you
million
basically
a year.
get rid of the first line and Kyler Yamamoto, and, and you basically don't have forwards.
Nugent Hopkins makes
Four?
about 6 million a
Oh, I
year.
thought it was four.
No, but in a couple of years it'll drop down to 4.
Oh, okay.
So, and he's on an 8-year, $41 million deal.
Yeah, that's all. Uh, anyway, but
So, add that to the mix with Draisaitl and McDavid, and you tell me how good anything outside of ELC players can be.
yeah, no, but like again, that's the point. It's like they're so good that those two can carry the team to the playoffs, but they can't make it anywhere in the playoffs.
Right, because once the playoffs happen, it's a completely different
Yeah.
game. One where finesse does not matter.
Yep.
And both McDavid and Matthews, both Marner and Draisaitl, they're all finesse.
Hmm.
But at the same time, what we're forgetting is the Oilers have actually made it further.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that there's massive holes in their team too, and that their style does not mean anything to playoff hockey, they still have reached the second round.
Yep.
So anyway,
Anyway,
more of a recap than a preview, but
yeah. All right, let's keep going, right? So, what do we think of this?
so and because we also serve to an audio platform, let's say what this
Yeah,
is. It
which
is
is ads on jerseys.
so look, my initial thought is, and this goes for the NBA too. Why the fuck does the advertisement have to be on the front of the jersey? I never understood why the advertisement couldn't be above the nameplate on the back of the neck,
Okay.
because then it's not a massive eyesore to the front, and because fans are always looking at the back of the jersey as much as the front anyway, because they're trying to identify a player. Um,
Yeah. But
so
okay, out of these, the most eyesore are the Canadians, the Pens, and the Jets, I think.
Okay. And again, we're just talking the sponsors itself.
Yeah.
And you're speaking contrasting colors because the Penguins have a blue logo, the Canadians have a blue logo on their red jerseys, and the Jets have a red logo on their blue jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know as well as me that any of these logos could just be PNG'd out, transparent background, and let's
Yep.
call it a day.
Yep.
But we're not here to talk tech. I think that the fact that there's ads on the jerseys mean less now because
Yeah.
I mean it didn't mean jack shit once the WNBA did it because they absolutely needed
But
to
they need it.
survive.
Like, it's different, right? Like, even overseas in Europe, like, the jerseys have ads because they need it.
Right, but like the WNBA like cut half their teams and still needed it. Once the NBA did it, the NBA did not need to do it,
Yeah.
but it filled the owners' pockets and it filled the league as a whole's revenue sharing pockets.
Right.
Um, so the NHL is in a state where it's nowhere near the WNBA or European leagues. It's somewhere between a moneymaker of like I guess what soccer, like MLS soccer is and NBA is. Because like MLS soccer doesn't make the money
Yeah.
that European
I
soccer
don't
does.
think it
So
was
that's where I
needed.
think it's a good lower ball.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I
that
don't.
one's tough.
I think it's like if it was needed, it's barely.
I understand, but that one's tough because the NHL of the core four sports does make the least amount of money,
Yeah.
which is saying something because of where baseball is becoming, outdated.
But I
But the
mean,
thing about it
baseball
is,
baseball is hasn't declined. It's not declining as fast as I thought it would in amount of revenue.
okay, but the thing is that the NHL makes the least amount of money of those four sports or
Yes.
of those four leagues. And when COVID hit, most of the leagues were playing despite the fact that it was going to be a net
Yes.
loss on everybody's books.
Yes.
So nobody was hurt more by that than the NHL.
Yes, I agree.
And so the NHL did have to recoup money, and that's why we saw
No
the
salary.
ads on. Well, that's why we saw ads on the helmets.
Yeah, but we also saw a salary cap freeze for the next 2. They're still going on, and a few
Yeah,
other things.
it doesn't increase.
Huh?
The salary cap doesn't increase, right?
No, no, no. They usually negotiate it, but there's a like they've currently frozen it due to
Yeah, I'm
COVID.
saying that's what you mean by freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cap doesn't get negotiated; it's staying at 2020 rate.
Yes.
So my thinking is like other leagues have done it well. And if the NHL was the first to do it, then it would be more of an eyesore. But the fact that they're not
Yep.
makes things more
Oh
tolerable.
yeah, I agree. I don't like to
Especially
look at it.
because the NBA following or doing it first is NBA being the biggest international moneymaker.
Yeah,
They they really blew the doors open on that.
yeah, fair enough. I can see that.
But ads on the helmets and the jerseys in 2 straight seasons does strike me as a bit much.
Fair.
You don't buy the helmet, obviously,
No.
but like most teams did have advertisements instead of their own logo on both sides of the helmet last
Yeah.
year. And then that was supposed to, replace a lot of the money that was lost with local investors. But then you have the same companies or different companies also buying space on the jersey. It the goal here should be not to, and I understand it's only one ad on the jersey, but you don't want to get too NASCAR. You don't want to be overtaken with visual
Ads.
sponsors. So like the NBA, they stopped at one because you still have the floor sponsors, you still have
Yeah, and the
the
NHL has the whole
Dornas.
rink to sponsor.
Right. And they did add that too. But in Europe and stuff like that, it's the face-off circles and all that stuff that's covered in sponsors. There's another way of doing this without uh, visually having a
Impacting.
trade-off with,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. But at the same time, it's like, the NBA's done it, so I'm not like super surprised. I do agree that they probably could have found a better placement for it.
I guess this is one of those instances where you don't want to be the last one to the party and do it before you're too late.
Uh-huh.
Because I genuinely think if if MLB and baseball got to it before the NHL,
Yeah.
that would be bad
Uh-huh. Okay.
because the MLB probably long term benefits the most from having it
Fair
in
enough.
terms of the financial trajectory of profit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to be the first one to do it either because if it has backlash, then
You're not the
you
one to
are the
take it.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that they did well in being somewhere in that sweet spot of not the first, not the last.
Okay. All right. Now let's see. Some headlines. We already talked about this a little bit,
Old
but
people, yeah, old people left
yeah.
in all at the same day. We had Keith Yandel, who, I mean, can you blame him for not wanting to stay with the Flyers? He was
No.
on a PTO turned 1 year deal last year anyway.
Yeah.
And then the Flyers decided to bench him. Wasn't he on like some Iron Man streak or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
anyway?
Right before his Iron
And
Man like 1,000 or something.
yeah, they made him sit out, which was a complete scumbag move. And I'm not saying that because of Philly. I'm saying that because I mean those Iron Man streaks take forever to build, obviously, and to make him healthy, scratch it.
Yeah, that's
It's some
ridiculous.
bullshit. Zdeno Chara, who I mean,
Thank God he's
he had a tremendous career. Yes, thank God he's done because the dude was like 45.
Yeah.
He was very much non-existent last year.
Oh yeah.
He basically retired like 3 years ago, but he was just along for the ride.
Yep.
And then, I mean, you tell me about PK. He's only 33, which is like quite the difference between the other two here.
I mean, to be fair, like you I mean, you don't remember him for anything he's done on the Devils.
Yes, but at the same time, for a guy who's 33, you don't really remember him for anything he's done in the past 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree to that.
I
But
mean, he
like
had what,
you
2 good
you
years in
but you
Nashville.
you remember him for what he does off the ice, not really on.
A failed Lindsey Vaughn relationship, and yes, he's good at doing media.
Yeah, basically. Um
But look, you're saying that like he's the NHL's LeBron. Like he's going to show up in a Sprite ad as a
No, not even
claymation
that.
type
It's
thing.
just like he,
He's a wonderful guy. I will
yeah,
give him that.
he's a
But
he's a stellar person, but
okay,
his
but
career kind of fizzled straight after Montreal.
okay, but here's I'm going to make an absurd comparison here. Roberto Clemente, the Pirates legend, was remembered for his humanitarian work. Yes, partly because he was on a humanitarian mission when the plane went down and he died. But you still remember just as much for his on the field achievement because great players are known
But
more for their
I
achievements when
like
they're great in what they do as a profession.
I agree with you, but at the same time, PK Subban was great in Montreal. Outside of
Oh
Montreal,
yeah, look, I will be the first one to admit the Montreal trade was the first thing that screwed him.
y- yes,
He, whatever, who was it? Claude? No, it wasn't Claude.
Weber.
Weber? No, I'm saying the coach.
Oh, don't
The
know.
coaches did not like him up there.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was great on Montreal, and ever since he left, like I think he had like one good season in Nashville, and then it just kind of went.
I'll give him the benefit of two.
And so I don't know. Like, sure, he was great, but I don't think like the problem is I don't think his greatness was long enough to like Clemente had a long like Clemente was basically the Pirates in terms of like he was so like I don't see
They had
how
a lot else. They had a lot else back then.
yeah, but like I don't see how like Subban played what 500 games. I'll say he's like a great player, and then it took like a really steep dive. So what do you remember? At least right now, you remember the recent history, not
Okay. And we're going to give PK 2 years because he had 40 years that first year in Nashville, and we're going to give him his second year, he had 59. And that was the year after they made the finals.
yeah.
So we'll give him 2 years. And then after the third year, the decline was there.
And like okay, you see we remember what he's become right now, not necessarily what he was. And that's my problem. It's like okay, I also had to sit and watch him play when I watched the Devils for the past few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember what he was or what he is currently, not what he was in Montreal and the early part of Nashville.
I mean, he made the show when he was 20 years old,
Yeah.
which is
No, he was a great
for a
player.
defenseman, that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think that the most untapped potential, though, I would
Yeah.
say, be in terms of career longevity.
I
And
agree.
okay, so this is where it makes sense now. Michel Therrien was his coach in Montreal. Michel Therrien doesn't like any kind of innovative hockey.
Nope.
He dealt with Therrien for it looks like Therrien was his coach for 4 years, so he had seen well more than he wanted to. Yeah, so this is on Montreal. Montreal fucked up.
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't know what to tell you. Therrien is a very like dictator like coach.
Yeah. I agree with you. So I
He
don't know,
stood in
but
front of the media when he was a coach of the Penguins and said that nobody wants to play. Said Max Talbot was the best player on the Penguins.
oh my god. Anyway, moving on.
All right, so we got new jerseys this year. The Hurricanes brought back the stupid fucking squares, the square vest as an alternate, and they were like, you know, history is coming back as like you guys literally got rid of this jersey like 3 years ago.
I know, right? Oh my
It's
god, I hate
exactly the
it.
same. But do you hate it more than the new San Jose Sharks jerseys, which are basically the same, but they cut out the tan?
To be fair, I kind of hate the squares more.
I,
But
well,
it's
I didn't think. Look, I'm a big teal guy, but once I saw the Sharks uniforms in on somebody with teal buckets and teal shorts, I was like, "Holy shit, that's too much."
yeah. No, I
Teal,
agree.
teal,
But I still think the square is just a little too gaudy. And it
yeah.
slightly edges it out.
Is it like I what was great about the current jerseys was when they had the one with the ripped flag that was supposed to represent like a hurricane kind
Yeah.
of. It was supposed to be a flag representing hurricane and gale force winds, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, but this, I don't know what these squares are supposed to represent. I think it's just some pattern,
Great.
and there very well could be meaning behind it. But this doesn't make me ask that.
Great.
I more ask why the fuck the Sharks have teal on teal on teal than the Hurricanes have squares. So
Fair.
anyway, that was just a quick minute on that.
Hi. And
So now we have the reverse retro, which we have the potential leak. Apparently, Fanatics, who sells everything sports merchandise, started selling throwback T-shirts this year for teams in the designs of what people think are going to be
the retros.
reverse retro.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these have been like so far. There's been nothing to say that this won't be confirmed. Like
Yeah.
teams have unleashed their designs. Um, I mean, we know that Buffalo's was they went to the red and black for the
Yeah.
reverse retro, so the coloring was a little different.
Uh-huh.
Um, we know that Edmonton came out with the oil rig, uh,
Yep.
or the flying oil, or whatever the fuck it is. Um, rumor is the Robo Pen is coming back for the Penguins, but
Great.
nothing cemented. A rumor is the Fisherman for the Islanders,
Mm-hmm.
which I think for whatever reason, non-Islanders fans love the Fisherman more than Islanders.
Yes. But I also
Long
like how
Island,
I like how Seattle doesn't have reverse retro yet.
they're just Vegas.
Neither does Vegas. Yep.
But like, I just want to say, if you understood Long Island, there's no fucking like that's not how Islanders it was supposed to be portrayed.
To be fair, I kind of like the fisherman as a logo,
I
but
do too, but like it culturally doesn't make sense for Long Island.
yeah. So
Long Island is more about like delis than it is about fishermen. The Canadians is like, it is what it
it
is.
is
Like
what
that
it is.
doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
The NHL's in a weird spot because a lot of teams like Columbus, like Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
they just haven't been around long enough to like actually matter
Yep.
for this kind of thing. And then there's other teams like the Flyers have never changed their logo.
At all.
The Devils have never really changed
We
their
just had a
logo.
coloring change.
Colors. Yeah, it looks like you guys are gonna bring back that color change this year.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't know. I think there's unlike the NBA, there's only so many reverse retro possibilities before
Yep.
the NHL is going to have to change it up. And I think didn't Adidas already like want out of the NHL
Yeah.
merchandising deal?
Yep.
And
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure that happened.
after this year and next year,
Yeah, I don't
which I
remember.
mean kudos to Nike because they're just absolutely going to go in, swoop this up, and have all 4 major sports on top of like half of European soccer.
Yep.
If you think that Nike isn't going to go after it, you'd be
No.
insane. Because a chance for them to monopolize all major sports merchandise is a dream.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, on to the next sport. Finally, we just have one thing to talk about.
Yeah, and it got even better today.
Great.
So I will lead this one as the Suns fan. Let's say that the guy, and look, I can talk about how their majority stakeholder owner, Robert Sarver, uh, dropped the N word a bunch of times, made women feel uncomfortable in the workplace. They held an investigation for months and concluded that all these claims were legitimate. I can say a lot of these things were very bad. I can say that I did not agree with the NBA that 1 year and $10 million fine.
That's like a
One
slap
year
on the wrist.
suspension. Yeah, and the fact that Adam Silver stood in front of the press, and when the press asked, "Well, if it happened in our workplace, we would be fired. Why should it be different here?" And Adam Silver said, "Because he owns the team and like he's entitled to certain rights as an owner." So my thinking is this: if you're gonna ban Donald Sterling, you had to ban
Robert Sarver.
Robert. The fact that they didn't,
That's ridiculous.
not a great look. Um, but Robert Sarver historically also not a great look. As the Suns owner, he was notoriously cheap. In Amari Stoudemire's prime, uh, when deciding if they were going to pay to keep him around or not before he went to the Knicks, and he thought that Stoudemire wanted too much money, he told Stoudemire, "I've got guys who can replace you tomorrow," which his version of that was Marcin Gortat, which started the Suns' fall to the basement in the eventual absolute downfall that lasted 12 years of them not making the playoffs.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're very cheap. He did not run the organization well. And then we got word that uh, the second largest stakeholder in the Suns was immediately pressed that Sarver resign, give up his share, sell his part of the team, which is good that like the ownership group as a whole did not agree.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then PayPal, the jersey sponsor, decided to say, as long as Robert Sarver is there as the owner of the Suns, once our current contract is up, we will not be renewing. So now there's more of a financial hit. Then Chris Paul says the league should have done more. I know this is the owner of the team that I play for, but this is
Ridiculous.
You guys didn't do that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So today, September 21st, he made the decision. He's going to pursue selling the Suns and the Mercury. Big win for everybody, except again for Robert Sarver, who decided to really just dig himself a fucking hole even more. Because if I can pull up the statement, he said that he's a man of faith. He believes in atonement and the path to forgiveness. He expected the commissioner's 1 year suspension would provide the time for him to focus, make amends, and remove himself from personal controversy from the team and fans. But in the unforgiving current climate, it became painful that that wasn't possible, and that was the problem. That whatever good he had done or could do is outweighed by things that he had said in the past, and for those reasons, he's going to sell the team. Not because he's a racist, not because he said things that made women uncomfortable, but because the world doesn't forgive him for doing those things. Does he feel the need to separate himself from being an owner?
But I mean, it's still a problem that the original punishment was 1 year suspension and $10 million. Like,
So,
sure, the public as a whole can come together and for basically force him to out himself from the team, right? But
mhm.
that's just another step of accountability. You're literally in the court of public opinion, right? So I still find it very it's just very bad that they thought that a 1 year suspension and $10 million was enough for the court of public opinion.
I think what the weird thing is they seem to imply that that was like a max punishment.
That too, but like, it's
That shouldn't be anywhere
ridiculous.
near a max.
Yeah,
Especially because you've set the precedent before Adam Silver that the max is well above this.
yeah.
And I can't sit here and say that I know 1,000% of what Sarver actually did.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to last year, when the reports started flying about what was going to happen and the accusations at that time before they were confirmed, the the first thing that got a lot of attention was these accusations once they were released in an ESPN article or whoever was writing the story on it. The accusations were going to make Robert Sarver make Donald Sterling's accusations look like nothing. I think ESPN painted the picture like they
But
still came
again,
out with
they're
information, but they
journalists, so as
painted
long as they have some
right,
basis on the truth as the backing for their story, it doesn't matter. And it's
right.
all up to the court of public opinion, which they can sway a heavy amount.
Right, and I think that there was a certain amount of swaying there because when it happened with Donald Sterling, it was presented very differently.
Yeah.
It was ESPN wrote a story that was more like an investigative feature, but never really accused or blamed Sarver. It was more like saying like if this is true, then it is something,
Yep.
instead of saying you can't believe what this guy did.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, we will soon be Robert Sarverless.
I honestly think that his process is going to be pretty long. I
Yeah.
think he's going to try to hold on and control power for as long as he can, despite the fact he's suspended for this year. It would not surprise me if this is a 2 or 3 year thing.
Yep. All right. Well, on to college football. So let's look at the top 25 for
It's
week
Georgia than
4.
everybody else. It's Georgia than everybody else.
Literally, Georgia than everybody
Pretty much
else.
every other team has flaws. I mean, I guess Bama is going to be there in the end for that title fight. But I would say even Ohio State and Michigan are like at a completely different level than those
Yeah,
two.
fair enough. I agree. I do think Georgia is just head and shoulders above everybody anyway.
Yeah, people are asking in the media, is Georgia and Alabama's places swapped now? Has Georgia endured all the crap and now they're on the other side of the power shift?
Fair enough.
Look, the ACC is well represented in the bottom of the top 25. They
Mm-hmm.
between 12 and 25 have like 5 or 6 teams.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Tennessee jumping up from 11 to not to defend Pitt here. You know that I work for Pitt. You know that I am a Pitt fan. But they shouldn't have gone. Tennessee shouldn't have gone from unranked up to 11 after taking down Pitt's second string quarterback with a broken ankle in overtime to get up to being ranked, and then uh, whatever cupcake win they had after that. Like the the boost of the resume isn't that strong.
Fair enough.
Um, I don't know. I think that Wake Forest is probably the biggest pretender in the top 25 right now because
Yeah.
I mean, they're surviving without their top quarterback, but Wake Forest doesn't strike me as a defensively sound team. Um, I, I BYU probably ends up in that same role,
Hmm.
but you have a lot of powerhouse traditional teams at the bottom with Florida, Texas,
Yeah.
Texas A&M, and Miami all in the 20s.
Yeah. All
So,
the low 20s.
and I don't know. Like this is an interesting year because yes, you have a lot of the traditional stuff in the top 10, but Arkansas and Kentucky being there in the top 10 is a massive shakeup,
Oh yeah.
and it won't mean a thing come playoff time.
Oh no,
But you
not at
have
all.
a lot of teams that, historically speaking, are more prestigious, that are far closer to being unranked than being, top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a quick glimpse.
Yeah, but
It's not
like my thing is
question.
like, oh hey, we look at this closer to the end of the season. I still expect like Georgia.
Yeah. Well, look, there's a reason why the playoff rankings don't come out anywhere near here.
Yep.
It's all crap right now this time.
Yep. All right. Well, that's what we have for this episode. You got anything else?
No, I do not. Not for right now, but we have some exciting stuff coming up. We have not Wheelspin, but we have DraftBot coming soon. We partnered with a Twitter user who was nice enough to let us use his account and automated draft bot that will assign fictitious or non-fictitious players to every NHL team, and we're gonna take you through some analysis on that. So
Yep.
that'll be a fun one. So keep
Yep.
an eye out for that.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you next time.